Welcome to Sports Talk with Henak. We do not cover the X's and O's. We get into the drama and all the off-court, off-field stuff. Let's get into it.
Is Jerry Jones a racist?
No, absolutely not. Jerry Jones is not a racist. Okay, here's the problem with the black community. We want to take a still photo of a 14-year-old boy in Arkansas in the South in 1957 and make a case on the basis of that one photo that this man is a racist. We can't do that. We don't know exactly what he was doing or why he was in that crowd based on the photo alone. Now, if video comes out later, if more context is provided, evidence is submitted, and we can get the whole story from that evidence, then okay, maybe. But if we're just using the basis of that photo standalone, we cannot say that Jerry Jones is a racist based on the photo alone. You're welcome to highlight the fact that he hasn't hired a black head coach. You're welcome to highlight the fact that Kaepernick and that whole situation was ugly and messy because Jerry Jones refused to stand up on behalf of the African American community as an owner of the Dallas Cowboys. You can highlight the fact that Jerry Jones has not come out and denounced racism against black people since all this blew up. But you cannot use that one photo as the basis for your reason, stand alone, that he's a racist. Jerry Jones is not a racist using that photo as your only evidence at this time and in this moment. I think it's a problem that he hasn't come out and said that, racism in any way, shape, or form is ugly or bad. I think there are some things that he has to operate in and some things that he has to say or not say because of his constituency. I think he's motivated by money. I think he's a little afraid of the backlash from his base. And so I think it's very interesting that, he hasn't said much yet on the issue. But no, he's not a racist if you're only going to use that one photo. Really? A 14-year-old boy? That's what we're doing now? We're going to castigate a man for a still photo from 1957, 60 plus years ago, to say he's a racist. Man, we've gone way too far as a culture, as a society. We are just on a witch hunt to find people to tar and feather. Shame on us for that.
Is this Dan Snyder leaking photos? Is this Dan Snyder starting to expose other owners?
That's a great question, right? Where did the photo come from? Listen, I think it's possible that Dan Snyder might have leaked. He did say there's a report out there that says that Dan Snyder has bodies. He knows where all the bodies are buried, that there are skeletons in closets that he's happy to reveal if he starts to get pushed out. And I do think that the NFL owners are looking to push that pariah out of the NFL. And so could this have been from Dan? It probably was.
LeBron had an interesting press conference about this photo. What do you think about his response to this whole situation?
LeBron is the king, and I'll say it like this. Checkmate LeBron. This man is a master at manipulating the media. LeBron James caught a W, not against the Trailblazers that night primarily, but against CNN, Fox News, mainstream media, and every single media person in that room and their producers, investors, and owners of all those media conglomerates that they represent. Here's why, here's how. LeBron James, what's he known for, my guy? Social justice, activism, leveraging his platform and his voice. We can go down the list. Trayvon Martin, Colin Kaepernick, George Floyd. We can go on and on throughout the years. This man has consistently and with discipline always been outspoken. Not only has he been outspoken, but the media have always brought questions to him about social issues of the day, whether it's Trump, whether it's January 6th, whether it's politics, whether it's sports. And they ask him to comment outside of the realm of sports on social issues. Nothing wrong with that. And all of a sudden, Jerry Jones's photo emerges. And all the clamor, and it's the number one news story of the day, really that week, this last week. And the media has nothing to say. And I love what he did because he caught the media red-handed, right? The bottom line is this. We all know that media is compromised, that there are agendas that these institutions have and messages that they're trying to proliferate and disseminate through their platforms. They are not objective. They are not independent. They're out there to get things out there. And they have a very specific set of things they're trying to push, a narrative they're trying to force down all of our throats. And LeBron caught them red-handed. And he used the Kyrie Irving situation as an illustration. Kyrie Irving might or might not be a racist, according to some. Kyrie might have anti-Semitic views, according to some. But the bottom line is this. Kyrie Irving was questioned in media sessions about his alleged anti-Semitism. And when it comes out that Jerry Jones, back in the 50s, was in a crowd full of racist, a rabid crowd of racists, as schools are trying to integrate in the Jim Crow South, the media has nothing to say. The media has nothing to question when it comes to LeBron. Oh, y'all got questions about China. Y'all got questions about January 6th. Y'all got questions about all kinds of issues. And when it comes time to ask about Jerry Jones, you're real quiet and real silent. I love what LeBron did. Checkmate from the king. And what we see is bias. And what we see with LeBron James calling out the media that Wednesday night after the Trailblazers lost to the Lakers, what we saw is the media getting caught red-handed. And they got caught red-handed because the media has no problem grilling, excoriating, and crucifying a multi-millionaire African-American ball player, Kyrie Irving, and asking him to clarify for weeks on end and trying to get him to capitulate into the messaging and the wording that the media wants him to disseminate. But when it comes to Jerry Jones being questioned, potentially castigated, right? And you don't want to ask LeBron? Or you're going to ask LeBron about Kyrie when it comes to his potential or alleged anti-Semitism towards the Jewish people. You got nothing to say to LeBron when it comes to an African-American issue with Jerry Jones front and center. Could it be because he's an 80-year-old billionaire? Could it be that power dynamics are at play? Could it be that a white, powerful, wealthy billionaire will never be treated the same way as a multi-millionaire ball player? Checkmate LeBron James.
We had a couple of former teammates beefing on Twitter. What do you think about this whole Patrick Peterson, Kyler Murray beef?
I love it. I love it. Okay. What did Patrick Peterson say? He's a cornerback for the Vikings. He said, Kyler Murray don't care about nobody but Kyler Murray. That's just the matter of the fact. Here's the bottom line, bro. Even if it's true, and I don't know if it's true or not, Kyler Murray might be the most narcissistic, self-centered, self-absorbed monster in the NFL. But at the end of the day, if you're a part of the NFL or you've played in the NFL, you know that you're a part of a brotherhood. You don't call each other out, bro. Right? Unless someone's committing a crime or doing something heinous, like, why would you do that? Why? Like, what business do you have throwing a man's business out on Front Street? Bro, he's a traitor. Patrick Peterson, you are a traitor, my guy. Really? Like, is he going to do that for anyone else? Is he going to dog? You know how many narcissists there are across the NFL? I mean, like, all these guys think they're the best at what they do. It's a part of how they became so great. So you're going to call out one man's narcissism and not the rest of them? So, nah, dude, it's messed up. I would never put a homie, I would never put a friend, I would never put a colleague out on Front Street like that. Even if I believed what I said was true, keep it private, bro. What are you doing? And it makes you question his motives. Like, what are you doing, bro? And I love what Kyler said in his tweet, right? He said, this isn't true. You on some weird SHIT, and you got my number. Patrick has his number. You're not going to call him out? And if you really felt like this is as a big bro or a mentor, you're supposed to call me and tell me to not drag me out there so your podcast can grow. I completely agree with that response, bro. Shame on you, Patrick.
All right, Antonio Brown had his fair share of recent incidents in the past, and we just found out he has another arrest warrant out for him. What's up with him?
Right on schedule. Antonio Brown is a pariah on society in general, okay? Always up to something. Always doing something. He's that kid in class that just can't get out of detention. He's that kid in the neighborhood that just can't stop getting arrested for vandalism. Always up to something. You can't just be wealthy. You just can't be famous and live a peaceful, happy life. Always in the news for something. So what happened? A couple of days ago, apparently him and a woman were involved in some kind of altercation in South Tampa. And apparently the man threw a shoe at said lady. He assassinated her. That's messed up. Okay, that's messed up. Dude, if you are in a situation and you find yourself leaning to go grab your Yeezys and you're about to slug it at the woman, at some point you got to check yourself before you wreck yourself. What's new with Antonio Brown. I think last month he was ordered to pay $1.2 million to Broward County for another incident involving a truck driver. And so he's just always in the news for something. And I'll say this, Tom Brady did say that he said something to the effect, I can't remember the exact quote, something to the effect of, we ought to be considerate of this man's health, mental health. And so I do want to be compassionate and empathetic to the reality that maybe this guy is just sick in the head. Like maybe there's just something profoundly wrong with Antonio Brown. Always in the media for something. And this week, he assassinated a lady. Shame on you, Antonio. You got to do better at some point in your life, my guy.
All right, another prominent receiver who's had his fair share of the news and the limelight. Is it fair or foul that T.O. punched somebody at CVS?
It depends on the context. So I'm sure details will emerge later. T.O., man, he's always in the news for something. All right. T.O. alleges that the man was the aggressor at CVS, which, I mean, T.O. he was an NFL football player. He's a big dude. He stays healthy, stays ripped. So apparently some guy was stepping to him, and he felt the need to protect and defend himself. So he punched the man in the face. Like, dude, T.O.'s cachet is zilch. I don't think anyone really believes him, and so I'm going to say foul. I think it's messed up that T.O. punched him. You got to do better, bro. Like, until the man puts his hands on you, you got to do. These people are coming for you. They are coming for your money. They know who you are. They want the clout. They want their names in headlines, my man. You got to do better. You know they're coming for you. So, no, man, I think it's foul. The only way it's fair is if the other person put his hands on T.O. and T.O. responded in kind. By the way, where's T.O.'s security? If you're rich and you're famous, you know the rules. You don't go to Walmart. You don't go to CVS. You don't go in the general public without your boys around you. What are you doing? Bro, I don't even like T.O., bro. I don't like T.O. because I don't like what he did to Stephen A. Smith. He questioned Stephen A. Smith's blackness on First Take a few years ago, and I've never been able to get over that. So, T.O., I can't stand you, bro. Hey, we've got more coming, so make sure you like and subscribe.